Hey, Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper, back with another unboxing, and man, this is a big one. Oh, this is a heavy box, which usually means that there's books and other kind of heavy objects in here. I don't think it would be stuffed with, how heavy, 24 pounds of patches and neckerchiefs, the kind of bread and butter stuff that I really love to see in collections. This one's kind of unusual. I don't actually know the story of how the lady came to be in possession of this, but she told me that this collection belonged to a former district executive of a council in Texas. And so whether he passed away, I'm not quite sure how she came to be in possession of the items, but we connected, made a deal to purchase the items, and then obviously she mailed them to me. It cost $60 through US mail to send a 24-pound package, but it is a really big package. You know, what's kind of interesting about this is that a district executive, okay, now that's a professional scouter who works for the council, primary job, you know, recruiting new troops, chartering new units, fundraising, all that good stuff. Very difficult job to do. And so here's the question. What would a DE have? You really have no idea. I mean, you think about it, district executives would be in charge of different council events. They would perhaps be camp directors at summer camp. They'd be in charge of activities. In the past, when I've gotten collections that belong to professional scouts, you know, sometimes they were the person kind of running the event. So they would have like the handful of patches that were left over, like 100 of each, because, you know, once they passed them all out, that's what was left. So there's just no telling what's in here. I did see pictures of it, so it's been a little while, but let's see. Well, that looks pretty good. A lot of color there, a lot of color. Nice. A lot of times I like to do sort of a big flop, but this box is 24 pounds, and I think a big flop would cause things to go everywhere. So instead, let me sort of pull these bags out. See some patches here for the Longhorn Council, Sam Houston Council. These look like activity patches, camp patches, things like that. Just right here, you can see there's a patch with multiple of the same one. So, you know, there's a lot of patches here. So I think rather than pulling them all out individually, I'll just sort of grab some bags. They are sorted though. This one is more of sort of the insignia and that kind of stuff. I see there's a 2010 Tenderfoot badge right there. So again, you start to get some dates here, because I was kind of curious, you know, how long back does this stuff go? And I see a few knots in here as well. So again, like here's a whole bag full of knots, which would, you know, and then also a patch there that would have been for Arrow of Light. And then here's a Cub Scout wood badge staff. Actually not wood badge, sorry, Cub Scout National Camp School staff. So again, something that someone who was a professional Boy Scout may have done, because he would have been someone who would have been on that course. Holy cow, I really already had a couple of these. I probably didn't need a giant brick of historic trails patches, but perhaps that's something that my troop, I could pass on to my troop in case they actually earned those patches. They would have to buy them from the scout shop. This is always great to get, just a whole fistful of council shoulder patches, and it looks to me like some of these are a little interesting. Looks like Heart of Texas Council, 1985 Jamboree, 1993 Jamboree, Longhorn Council, again, Heart of Texas. Here's from Louisiana. So just a whole fistful of patches that were probably traded for. See a couple here from different councils, including one from North Carolina, where I live. But these shoulder strips are collectible, and ones from the Jamboree especially. There's a couple old Jamboree patches in there. And then you can kind of get the idea here that, you know, here's a whole fistful of patches from the same event, 1997 Jamboree from the Heart of Texas Council. So, you know, you start putting two and two together, this guy probably was at that event, and if he has a whole stack of them, he was either trading them, or he may have been one of the guys who was kind of in charge. Again, another similar bag of stuff here. Now, I would say this, and I think I knew this going in, is that, you know, a lot of times a district executive who is not interested in patches will just have a lot of random stuff. You know, I mean, like I said, stuff they were in charge of, stuff they got. But if it was someone who was actually a little bit more of a patch collector, then they might have fistfuls of stuff that they traded for. And that's what it looks like is happening here. And that would help explain too why, for example, we see with this one patch, part of Texas Council, I'm not sure what this issue was made for. Some of them have a date on it. Let me show you this. So here's the patch I'm referencing. There's a fistful of these guys. So there's that one. But then there's one in here I just thumbed through and saw that had a date on it. I was like, well, why does that one have a date on it? So this one has June 24th to September 2000. Almost like sort of a council anniversary type thing. And so, you know, this might have been what the guy was trading at a jamboree or at some of these other events. So but he was collecting council shoulder patches, just got a whole bag full of them in here that I'll have to go through and kind of sort out. And then there's a couple in the back here that are the red and white strips. So red and white strips would have been prior to that 1970 introduction of the council shoulder patches that are colorful. You see that there. All right, what else have we got in here from this former district executive? This looks to be much like the first bag I grabbed, just a bag of miscellaneous activity and event patches. How about this guy? I see, oh, there's some things in here, World Jamboree, National Jamboree. Yep, this is kind of the Jamboree bag, if you will. And so there's a fistful of patches here, everything from a 1983 World Scout Jamboree to some, and again, 97 Jamboree. Looks like this guy might have gone to that. For example, here's a whole stack full of patches from 97 Jamboree. And then here's the Southern Region patch from the 97 Jamboree. But then also he's got some older stuff, like this guy's the little, I guess we call it the canvas patch from the 50 Jamboree. That might have been something he traded for. Then here's like, for example, a World Jamboree patch from Australia. So this was organized, probably done by him. Another bag of activity and event patches, more modern stuff there. This bag has some different miscellaneous stuff. I'm seeing nothing too interesting, and I'm trying to keep it tight for you guys. Oh, now this is nice. Check this out. Okay, so from the camp there, a Scoutmaster Merit Badge patch, and then a big, big jacket patch. So Longhorn Council, helpful. It's possible that this would have been some kind of FOS. Normally when you see the different Scout oath on a patch, it's because they had a theme and they went through from trustworthy to reverent, putting on their Friends of Scouting patches. And so here's a jacket patch for friendly. So perhaps there's a whole set of those that go all the way back. Here is a jacket from 1997. This would have been sold in the trading post at the 97 Jamboree. I've seen some of those before. Oh yeah. This was something else I got that I thought was kind of fun. I you know, sometimes in collections I'll tell people, oh, I don't know, I'm not really interested in that or that. You know, sometimes books and coffee mugs. But this I thought was kind of different because these are little plush dolls that have the Cub Scout hats on them and such. And so probably, you know, you kind of go together. He would have gone and done a lot of recruiting events trying to get Cub Scouts to join, and then having these little plush toys on his recruiting table. You know, who can't resist coming in for a little hug on a cute little guy like that? And so, you know, whether this, and it might also be connected, now that I think about it, to the patch we saw earlier, which was National Camp School Cub Scouts. So here's one from Class B, which is one of the companies. And so that may have been something he used in that National Camp School course that he was doing. So let me set these cute little guys down. Here's some heavy pieces here. These look to be belt buckles. So let's see if any of these are, they're putting up there. Well, they're all wrapped up, so it'll be a little hard to unwrap them, but there's a Philmont buckle. And then again, 97, we're seeing that. This guy definitely went to 97. Another 1997 Jamboree belt buckle, so some of that stuff. And we're still going, there's still more. Here's a 97 Jamboree polo shirt, size extra large, so somebody can still wear that, I would suspect. And this is a camp t-shirt. Again, that same camp name that we've seen. Camp Tahuya, Longhorn Council Summer Camp. This is 2003. So that works. Is this a whole bag of Okay, this looks to be like a bag of neckerchiefs. I think that's what's in here. Let's just check and see. Big old Ziploc bag. All right. This one is very interesting. This is obviously foreign. This is from another country, and someone made this up. I don't think this would have been how it was issued, but somebody sewed on all of these district council badges from another country. And sometimes you can look Halifax. I don't necessarily recognize the names of these towns, although there's West Yorkshire, so probably the UK. That's what those kind of look like to me. So that's a little different. I'm trying to see if there's other neckerchiefs in here that you guys haven't seen that might be interesting to you. Have you seen that one before? All right, so here's Bay Area Council, Texas. Here's an older one, the Go Roundup. That's probably 1960s. You know, you look at that guy. Black Beaver Council. Another thing I didn't mention about professional scouts, you know, they move around. So it's one of those jobs where you're, you know, every so many years you have to kind of move around in order to get promoted. And so there could be stuff from other councils. This is a beautiful Eagle Scout neckerchief. I'm not sure who the manufacturer of these was, but they made these sort of painted felt eagles sewn on a blue neckerchief. And then here's a whole stack of wood badge stuff. This was the neckerchief you got when you completed the course. These were the participant neckerchiefs here. And then some Cub Scout stuff there. Keep going, here's a limited edition Norman Rockwell knife. I've seen these before. These are nice, people tend to like those. Scout is helpful. I think they probably did one for all the different things. And there's a whole bunch of t-shirts in here. Yeah, a whole pile of t-shirts. I won't go through these just to kind of keep the camera going, but a whole bunch of t-shirts, which hopefully I can rehome. Here's a mess kit. I know what I'll do with this mess kit. I will give it to a scout at a scout meeting. I go to those usually on Thursday nights. And then another bag of activity patches. And what else do we have in here? Another bag of more recent patches. Oh, here's a bag of pins. Here's a bag of coins, 75th anniversary coins. And these look to be like anniversary coins for Cub Scouting. So this is something that I'm not familiar with. I've not had these before, but looks like to be a catalog item. And so he just has a bunch of the same one, but these are sort of like a challenge coin design for a Cub Scout anniversary. All right, and then the other ones in here I think are mostly just more of the activity patches. Here's some baseball cards that are BSA themed. Another neckerchief there, sorry, t-shirt. And then what is this guy? Oops, I popped it over. This is, okay, just like a little, it's kind of neat, but it's probably a catalog item. Just like a little pencil jar that, you know, made of a really thin ceramic that you could put on your desk. So yeah, just a couple more things. Some FOS, here's some FOS patches, Friends of Scouting, which would make plenty of sense. So this is really a pretty good collection of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. It will take me some time to go through and sort this out. But it's always interesting to see all those different activity patches. You know, they're from different districts and councils in that area. Texas is a state that a lot of collectors go after, and so maybe I can rehome those items and find someone else who would really appreciate them. So again, Jason Spengler, the SanteeSwapper. This is what I do. I buy collections from people who find me on the internet. We usually talk on the phone, email back and forth, send some pictures, and make a deal for me to purchase the collection. And then my job kind of becomes rehoming this stuff and getting it back out to the hands of scouts and scouters, whether they be in person or through the internet or Facebook or whatever, just swapping these things and getting them out. So thanks for watching my video. Go to my website, scoutpatchcollectors.com. There you can find more videos like this unboxing. You can find my podcast, my newsletters that I do, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.